Hey guys, Ellie here in the garden. Let me take you along today as we do a little bit of harvesting and a little bit of cleanup. Let me show you where the problems are. So I think it's only fair to use this area right in front of me as the starting point. We have a bit of cleanup to do. This is a weed, so that's getting pulled. The marigold can stay. The petunias just look pretty. Bay leaf is good. Gooseberries, there are a couple here that could probably be picked, so we'll do that. And then I need to water this worm bin. It's feeling a bit dry. Check on my worm bin, and then that should be that situation done. Okay, for this area here in front of me, this cucumber needs to be loved on a bit. There is a cucumber on it, so I think the plant thinks it's done with its mission, so I'm going to harvest that today, try and re-string this plant so that it's got more vertical growth, because today the sweet peas are coming out. I do have a couple that have gone to seed, and I'm not disappointed about it. So hopefully some of those have fallen in these containers and we may get future harvests of sweet peas. But today, sadly, their time here is now done, and we're going to remove that and clean up this pillar, and hopefully the cucumber will be encouraged to spread along that existing post. Right over here, I've got a couple of paprikas to harvest, a handful of beans, and by handful, there's probably 3 or 4 here. Nothing as far as I'm aware on any of these. This one is growing nicely. It's made it all the way up to the trellis and is slowly climbing, and it's finding its own way. I'm not training it or anything. It is doing it on its own. This one hasn't latched on, but it is flowering, so it may just be a more bushing variety of bean, and since I'm not 100% sure what those were, because those were the mixed pole beans, it could really be anything. I have unfortunately since lost a bean here, but it does have a little leaf trying to grow, so I'm going to see if it amounts to anything. The basil is coming in really well over here, and this bean plant has got a little bean growing. Okay, so I've just taken a step back. We've just looked at the beans on the other side of that aubergine. There are 2 eggplants to be removed there, and I'm going to try and stake it so that it stands more upright. Then over here, this zucchini plant has got a zucchini on it. I'm going to harvest that zucchini and then cull the plant. This jalapeno, I'm just going to turn it slightly to see if we can encourage more growth there. And I'm just going to come and stake as many of these little strawberry runners into these pots as possible. Then we can move on to this main garden space. For the most part, I am going to leave things how they are. They are very full and dense, and I'm not angry about it. So we have a flower-heavy garden at the moment. We have some nasturtiums there, beautiful, loving its life. There's 1 or 2 radishes hiding underneath this marigold bush. There's another marigold bush hiding underneath this marigold bush. But I need to come along and do some deadheading, and then maybe prune this back slightly, because I've got 2 more just like it on the opposite side here, on the opposite side of the pathway. Then I have my orchid beans coming up quite nicely. There are loads of beans on them, but we want them as dry beans, so we're going to let them dry out on the bean plant. I might plant something in this space. I'm thinking I'm going to go with beetroot. I don't know why, but I want to. We have 1 carrot that came up, but it does look like finally there's some other plants coming up. Well, 1 at least. So, yay, 2 carrots. That being said, I did plant some chaos seeds here when I had leftover purple carrots. And if you look over there, just over there, we have another purple carrot growing. This is what my mustard greens currently look like. It's so tall. But today, unfortunately, I think that's going to have to come out. The chickens will definitely enjoy that snack. These are the African potatoes. They do like it here, but they've gotten so tall and they've just flopped over. I'm not really sure what to do. I'm just going to let them grow. I might come around and do some weeding though. Then this corner, I've kind of just left it to go wild. These paprika plants are not loving it at the moment. I don't think they're getting nearly enough sun with the season changing and the granadilla growing up and over the chicken coop. Right, so excuse the laundry on the line here, but if you look, so this is where the granadilla stands at the moment. It's grown all the way across, down the front here, up over the top, actually into the next tree, along the top of the arch, and it's already stretching out a little further as well. So it is huge, and it has finally started to fruit, which is something that Duncan and I are both excited for. So we have one over here, two over here, and a flower right here, which I never saw before. Such an interesting or unique looking flower. It doesn't photograph very well, even though it's very pretty. So strange. So I think I'm going to start with this one and just harvest as many gooseberries as I can. So they are pretty cool. They have this papery sound to them. Let me show you. They have this papery outside shell, and normally when you tear them open, they expose this yellow gooseberry. So I'm not going to take them all out of their shell skin. I'm just going to put them in the container like that. So we've ended up with a smallish container. It's still a pretty decent offering. I don't think all of these will have gooseberries in them. Some of them may be beyond, but we'll still take what we can get. Right, next harvest, cucumber. So over here we have a beautiful cucumber. I'm just going to snip it off. Hopefully the plant realizes it's no longer making seed and tries again. So I'm going to try and pick this stem up and weave it, and then once I've taken these sweet peas down, I'm going to try and convince this cucumber to grow vertically for me. To essentially harvest all of these sweet peas and remove any of the pods. These top pods, they are well developed. The seeds are a nice size. So I'm going to cut the stem off and allow them to hang inside and dry that way, in the hope that the plant will push its nutrients into this pod and hopefully they'll be mature enough. I'm very sad to see them go. You know, sweet peas are my favorite, but that's why we're saving seeds, so that hopefully we can take our favorite wherever we end up. I'm also going to remove some of these bottom leaves just because they are slightly yellow. I don't want to take too many of the leaves off of the plant because they're technically the plant's solar panels. So let's try and keep them nice and strong and healthy. Right, for this one, nice easy again. We're just going to come around and snip off the red fruit. Nothing too serious. I am going to use this container purely for the paprika peppers, but for now, just for transport's sake and because I'm lazy, I'm just going to quickly pick off these beans. And we can move on to the next area. For this one, we have 2 little eggplants here. I'm going to take them both off. I know scissors are not the most ideal tool for this harvesting job, but it's what I have. So I'm going to use it. Not the biggest, but definitely worth harvesting, and a meal's worth at least. Right next door, we've got a zucchini here that is ready for harvesting. So take that one. Oh, it's actually can't. It just fell out of itself. So gross. The worms will love it. Alright, so I've got my container and my scissors. Let's go harvest some more chilies over there. I think I'm just going to take my scissors and chop this nasturtium back here so it's not in the walkway. I'll give these cut-offs to the chickens. That's better. At least now I can see the walkway again. Chilies. Okay, so all in all, not a bad harvest at all. At least we've got paprika. So I also got 3 of those tar dragon chilies. I'm just going to put them in here temporarily so that they are separate from the other chilies. There's so many bees around these eggplants. It actually makes my heart really happy. But I do need to check if they've got fruit on them. So this one does have a fruit, but it's still developing. I'm just going to cut off some of these yellowing leaves here, open up the airflow. Wow. Turns out this was a job worth doing. I have a huge eggplant right here. Look at that beauty. Oh. This plant also has a fruit on it, but I'm going to leave it, let it ripen a little bit more. The only thing I have left to harvest are the green beans that are growing on this archway over here. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break, have something nice and cold to drink, and I'll come down and harvest the rest when it's cooler. This is what the harvest basket currently looks like before we've even done the beans. Alright, so those are the beans we've got. It's honestly not a bad harvest at all. As of right now, we've got a beautiful harvest that we got today as a reward, and we finished doing the pulling out of those flowers. I did not get around to doing the worm farm, but I'll take you along on that mission. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Right, so everything is now done. Garden is looking a little fresher. Just given it a good watering, and hopefully once that sinks in, these guys will perk up slightly and the garden will be happy and healthy again.